Stephen's harsh words had worried the engines. Tavish and Nigel muttered about the end of steam in harsh tones, while Herbert would pretend to be asleep to avoid the subject. Sir Ralph, however, was unrepentant. He was more convinced than ever of his own survival, and particularly when he emerged from the works in a new coat of paint, with a distinguished double chimney fitted to match. "You see, Stephen," he said smugly one day, "why replace the best of the best?" Stephen ignored him as he puffed away. Sir Ralph harumphed loudly. Scott was watching nearby. He too had been overhauled, with the same dark green livery and double chimney applied. Unfortunately, his double chimney had a few unexpected side effects. "Scott," Nigel called to Herbert at the other end of the yard, "your train is ready." "I'm over here," Scott called to Nigel. Nigel kept looking at Herbert. "Your lips didn't move," he said with wonder. "I said I'm over here." "How'd you do that lip thing?" Nigel asked. "I'm over here," Scott bellowed for the umpteenth time. The other engines all laughed. Scott and Herbert did look rather alike. "Never mind, Scott," Alan laughed. "We're only teasing." Scott was not happy about his chimney. "This damn drifting smoke," he complained. "Why don't you get this problem, Herbert?" "I dunno." "You'll be needing a set of smoke deflectors then," Alan said brightly. "And blinker myself like a beast of burden? No, thank you." "I want my old chimney back," the A3 Pacific complained. "This double nonsense makes it hard to see." "Like anyone wants to see you in this state anyway," Sir Ralph sniffed. "What is it with your whinging?" "Whinging indeed," Scott began. "I do not." "You do?" "I most certainly do not." "You most certainly do." "I do not," Scott bellowed, safety valves hissing furiously and filling the shed with ash and steam. "Great, Scott. Just great," choked Alan. "My lovely paintwork," Sir Ralph coughed. "What will you do for an encore?" "Drop your fire," Nigel gasped. "Don't even joke, Nigel," Sir Ralph said. "That's the most undignified thing an engine can do." "Balderdash," Scott said. "Sometimes dropping the fire is a necessity." "You'd know all about that," Alan said with a grin. You wouldn't," Scott said, a little too hastily. "I would then," Alan laughed. "Not too long ago, our friend Scott here was a Leicester engine and not a King's Cross engine, and—" All right, Scott said anxiously. "I give. I dropped my fire. It was very embarrassing. The end. Good night." "Come now, Scott," Stephen said with a smile. "It wasn't quite like that." "You're too modest," he said to the red-faced Pacific. "Chaps, listen up. Here's a story about how great Scott really is." Scott had been allocated to Leicester's main shed, and he found the passenger trains he pulled there to be short and boring. "It's not fair," he complained to the other engines one day. "I remember the days when I was the flagship engine of the London and North Eastern Railway, polished to perfection, full of steam, and treated with care and attention. Now," he said, glaring at the young crew approaching him, "my crews appear late and without a single care in the world for me." His young fireman laughed. "Here, Cyril, will you listen to Flying Scott? He thinks we don't care about him," Cyril the driver chuckled. "Great Scott! Scott's in great trouble," he teased. "Knock it off," Scott snapped at them. "I'm feeling ill today. My injectors feel funny." "Really?" Cyril said with a frown. "Is he? Have a look at those injectors." "Right you are, Cyril." The two men checked Scott over, but the fireman could find nothing wrong with his injectors. "Are you sure, Scott? They seem fine to me." "I am sure," Scott said. "They've been feeling funny all day. Especially," he added, "since that blasted fitter refilled my tender tank." "We'll keep an eye on it," his driver said. "Come now, we have work to do." Scott puffed away, muttering about his poor injectors and poorer fitters. He soon found himself devoid of any real attention again. craved for the days when he pulled top-link expresses and had been cheered on by people at the line side. He missed the sheer spectacle of pulling out of King's Cross and running non-stop all the way to Edinburgh. Scott had liked being famous, and he had not taken well to being just another engine in the show. He was puffing dejectedly out of Leicester with his Pullman train when he started to feel poorly again. "Come on, Scott, lad, on we go," his driver said, pulling on the regulator. Scott got the speed, and it felt terrible as they passed Chilwelton. "Is he? His injector's failed," the fireman said, pointing to the others walking down. "There's something wrong with the other one," Scott's driver said. "We'll have to struggle on." Scott was starting to feel really poorly. His boiler felt much hotter than usual, and as he struggled past another station, his fireman gave another cry. "We've lost both injectors!" "Right," Cyril said. "Get that crate down, Izzy. I'll try the injectors again." "What's going on?" Scott called to him. "We have to stop your fire, or get your injectors working," his driver shouted back to him. "You must do one or the other, or..." "Explosion," Izzy gasped as he wound the grate down. As Scott turned the corner towards Aylesbury, his fireman turned the grate down, and the first lumps of molten coal dropped from under his wheels. The line side started to burn with smoke and fire as Scott, desperately thirsty, kept going along the rails. "It's still too hot," the fireman shouted. "The fire shovel's melting with the heat." "We haven't got any water in the boiler," the driver said, grimacing as he eased the regulator and kept Scott going. "Keep tamping down the fire as best you can. We'll know soon enough if those plugs go." The plugs were Scott's nuclear plugs. They act as a last, loud warning, letting out some of the pressure of the boiler before the water level dipped below the 1,000 If they didn't get some water to stop boiler quickly enough... "I can't breathe," Scott gasped, hot coals dropping from under his wheels as he scraped the rails. "I feel so hot." "Come on, Scott," the driver said, desperately placing the injectors. "Just a little water." Scott shut his eyes. Then it all happened at once. "We've got water," Cyril said, relieved. "How?" gasped the fireman. "No idea. Just pray they keep working," Cyril said, and the two men nursed Scott home towards London. "So," Nigel asked, "what happened after that?" "They took me to the shed, where Alan was waiting for me," Scott said. "They then checked me over and couldn't find anything wrong with the injectors." He looked at Stephen with a smile. "But," Alan grinned, "they did find several buckets full of roach, bream and rudd in your tender." "Fish?" snorted Sir Ralph. "You're a flying Scotsman, not a flying fish." "Come now, Sir Ralph," Stephen said. Scott couldn't help it. "Where does Leicester Shed get its water from?" "A water tank," Herbert said. The engines groaned. "We know that," one of the tank engines said. "It comes from the river, Herbert," Stephen said kindly. "And, of course, algae comes through the pipes with the fish, and the fish feed off the algae in the tank. And then one gets stuck in your tank and plugs the injector pipes," Alan said. "Still, your crew thought you were pretty great, Scott. They got a free fish dinner out of your mishap." "Can you eat any of those fish?" "Really?" Herbert pondered. But no one was listening as they all began laughing and joking with that truly great engine. Scott.